Those on Instagram, please go live on YouTube. The link is in the bio. Please, all of those who are tuning in on Facebook, on either GemDTwin or Mocha Christina, please go to YouTube, SipsTea the show, and subscribe. This is where the collaboration will happen tonight, where it has been happening for all the nights that we do the show. So guys, please go ahead and tune in there. We're just waiting for people to get logged in. But in the meantime, happy Wednesday to everybody. Happy hump day. It's 9 o'clock. We're close to getting started at 8:30. We definitely got a lot to talk about. A lot has happened, especially in the recent last few days. A lot has happened. We lost a good one. And so we definitely want to talk about that. But make sure everybody tune into SipsTea the show on YouTube. Tune into SipsTea the show on YouTube. We're going to go ahead and start the show now. We're going to start off with some positivity, and the positivity part of the show is we always like to start off on a high note. And it's whatever for me, it's whatever I'm going through the week, or just something to represent what I'm feeling at the current moment or the current week. If you guys have some positivity that you guys go by, please do not hesitate to share that to SipsTea the show page so we can share those positivity quotes, because it's all about the collaboration. So GemDTwin, what do you have for us?
I have to sit my ass down first. Just one moment as I take care of some logistical pieces of this whole situation. Right now, I'm actually making sure that we can see your comments on YouTube, because as Eb Deceleb said, it is all about the collaboration. Like, that's the most important piece that we really want to get people to join in on, because like all of these things deserve conversation. We got to get the conversation going. Like, we really have to talk about some things and get ourselves together as a community. But okay, so we're up and running, and I can see you guys when you tune in on YouTube, which is awesome. And for my positivity, there was a quote that I came across, and it kind of spoke volumes to me, just because of Eb Deceleb was saying too. This was like a personal thing close to me. I actually saw it on a Prime video. Mm-hmm. That's, Amazon Prime's their little situation or whatever. And so there was a Prime video, and it was a movie. So it's like one of Amazon's little situations. I can't even remember what the name of the movie was. It's like Everlasting or something like that. But there was a guy on there, and this guy was kind of like one of those people who kind of tuned into quotes and things like that. He put them all over his wall. And so I don't know who this is specifically by, but it said, if you want to experience peace, put peace in your experience. And I thought that was that is like one of those things that kind of speaks to me, only because I know so many people who tell me or say all the time that they want to get rid of the bullshit. They want to, weed out the riffraff. You cutting off friends. You don't do this with that person. You try to eliminate drama. I think we're all about that. Like, everybody wants to eliminate drama in their life and all this other stuff. But are you putting peace in, like, when you're clearing your circle and stuff like that, are you actually putting peace into your experience? What are you doing to be demonstrative of peace? Like, what do you bring to the table as far as peace? Are you a peacemaker? Because I tell you, a lot of times what I find is, like, the people who tell me most that they want peace are, like, also the people that feel like sometimes they cause the most discord, or they're comfortable in discord. Like, there's some people, I strongly believe that there's some people that do not like not arguing. Like, some people really, really enjoy arguing, and they don't know that they like arguing. Yeah. So they're not, you know what I mean? But you want peace. You can't argue. Like, those things do not go hand in hand. You can't argue or be an arguer and want peace. Mm-hmm. When you're the type of person that wants peace, you're looking for peace, which means you're looking to be a peacemaker. And so that quote is kind of about that, like that particular element experience. Like, you're only going to get out what you put in. And so put some peace in your experience. Maybe it's not all the people that you're cutting out of your circle. Maybe.
I think just advocate for, peace and for, to stop the hatred, to stop the Black on Black crime. So I think that anything that he quotes really does go strongly with what is actually happening in the world today. And I'm quoting Nelson Mandela, I learned that courage was not an absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. And so it's just like, take the courage to accept your fear, but triumph over that. Accept that it's okay to be fearful. It's okay to fear someone, but it's also okay to triumph over those fears. Don't allow your fears to take who you are. Don't allow what you're afraid of to conquer your whole being. Overcome that. And I think that, especially in what's going on today, and it's really just everything that's happening is really hit home. It's like we're afraid of the unknown and we're afraid of ourselves. We have got to take ourselves out of the mix and redirect that energy and put it into more positive places in order for us to be able to move on and to do more positive things. Because at the end of the day, right now, the way this world is going is we're an enemy of our own demise. We're the enemy right now. We ourselves are the enemies of what's going on right now. We are playing a huge part of what is going on right now. And if we don't make the change to stop what's going on right now, it's only going to continue to grow.
Absolutely.
So I definitely wanted to quote Nelson Mandela on that as being an advocate for African Americans. I thought it was only appropriate to what's going on today to really just quote him. But with that being said, you guys, we definitely, like I said, if you have any type of quotes that you guys want to share to the show, that you guys have positivity, that you guys live by on a day-to-day basis, affirmations, whatever, please do not hesitate to share those to the show so that we can promote your quotes and what you have to say to the people and join in on that collaboration. With that being said, I think we can go ahead and move right on into Brewing TEA. And Brewing TEA, part of the show, we actually brew our local talent, whether it is local or whether it is viral, but brewing someone doing great and amazing things. This week, we are going to get back started with bringing in the guests on the show and everything like that. We just wanted to get the year started off right, get ourselves our foot wet, and just go out there and.
Well, I would like to, number one, I need to share some things with you guys. I actually did my first pop-up, Jewels by Gem. If you guys don't know, I actually do a line of lock jewelry, or what I call hair accessories. They're sister locks and things like that. But although I cater to the sister lock community, the jewels, because they are that size, they actually work very well for hair of all types, natural hair, straight hair, long hair, short hair, all of that thing. All to prepare for that, which was an amazing experience anyway. But in trying to prepare for that, I actually came up with some different things that I wanted to put in my line. So that was great. I don't know if I'm going to continue to do pop-ups per se, because I kind of like the way I particularly kind of sell my own personal things, but it was an amazing experience, and I think I would do it again next year. This particular, I also want to shout out some of the other entrepreneurs that were there, and I really love to be around people doing their thing. It's just amazing, because only entrepreneurs know what entrepreneurs go through to be entrepreneurs. Sometimes, what you see at the end, because I gotta tell you guys, like, I was tired boots. And I say, there was some sleepless nights, because not only are you trying to just, live and make money and do whatever you do, whatever your natural, normal things are, you're also trying to, for me, especially for all entrepreneurs, you're trying to actually create products. So if you do things by hand, you're actually creating freaking product and all things like that. So that was something in and of itself. But to be around people who understand exactly what that's all about, is an amazing feeling, regardless of what comes of it. And being on the other side, because I've gone to a lot of pop-ups and, interviewed the entrepreneurs there and things like that. But to be on the other side of the table, that was a nice experience. So shout out to all of the entrepreneurs that were there, including my little niece at Kayla's Empire. You guys can look her up on Instagram, but Kayla's Empire, Kayla she actually sells her brand of t-shirts and things like that. Actually, the brand is going to be on t-shirts, pants, all kinds of things. She's going to have a summer line and all that stuff. So right now she's selling some t-shirts. She also has leggings, and her brand is Black Excellence with her own design and things like that. So she's definitely trying to take something that she actually dreamed about doing in high school, and she's a new graduate and everything. So we really have to support our young entrepreneurs as well. And she's come out the gate. She had a photo shoot for it. Then she actually went to the pop-up. She sold some things at the pop-up, and that was amazing too. So I hope she got a lot of support there with that. And I also have some other family members who are also doing a line called Love and Loyalty. So of course I have to shout them out. And it's really important while we're talking about brewing tea. I was saying this the other day. I was saying that the unfortunate thing that I got from the whole Nipsey situation, passing, and all of everything surrounding it is, let's not support each other after we're dead. Let's also brew each other and highlight each other right now while we're still here, while you can still support me now. You know what I mean? A lot of times when things happen, we wait until after the person. We go up in value. The things that we do go up in value after we're not here anymore. And I think we need to change the trend on that as well. And that's one of the things that I got from that whole, because from Nipsey passing or being murdered, because if you check Instagram, he was trending majorly hard. People were supporting him. People were coming out with all of their pictures. People were attacking Kim Kardashian for not giving due time to him and people's tributes to him and things like that. So just support each other. Look around you and support each other now. And support is free. You know what I mean? That's why I also wanted to shout those two people out, because support is free. You know what I mean? It doesn't take much to just say, hey, my person is doing this and the other, and this is what's going on. Even if you're not spending money, you can actually spend a little bit of time, make one little post extra from what you're already doing, and do that. So that's what I have for brewing tea. What about you?
Well, no, I definitely want to highlight those. That's awesome. Like you said, starting doing entrepreneur at such a young age, I think that's amazing. I got to meet your niece when she was young, just to see, she graduated and she's just doing big things coming from such a strong family. That's super awesome. And then for you being able to participate in the pop-up shop and just really allowing people to experience, the collection that you have, just experience GemDTwin and Jewels by Gem, and just have a little piece of you inside of it. I think that's just an awesome experience there as well.
Piece inside. It's actually going outside. I don't have it. But yes, that is actually one of the reasons why I like doing Jewels by Gem, though, because so far I've gotten a lot of support and a lot of orders from way far out of town, in different states and things like that. And it's awesome to know firsthand, because on with everything that happens. So I've had a lot of amazing conversations with a lot of amazing, and to know that they're wearing a piece of my jewelry in their hair, you're taking me with you. I'm up in Georgia, I'm in the United Kingdom, all over the place. So that's really great. But yeah, if you guys know somebody who you would consider they're brewing their tea, they're young, they're old, they're entrepreneurs, anybody who's seeing doing their thing out there, what we call everyday awesomeness. And we want to hear about it, because we also want to share that story with other people, because in sharing these stories with other people, hopefully it is something that is motivational to you, because like I said before, being an entrepreneur is not easy. However, there's somebody right behind you and wanting to quit, because you make it look easy. All you see is the finished product. And when we're watching the finished product, it's a little more difficult to stay tuned, because it's like, okay, jazz hands and spirit fingers over here, and I'm working my fingers to the bone. But what you're seeing is the product. You know what I mean? So shout out to all entrepreneurs that are on the show that we've actually highlighted in the past. We are still watching you guys, and we still love you guys. And, keep it up. The struggle is real, the grind is real, but keep pushing. Also, that's also a Nipsey thing. Keep pushing. If there's anybody to brew, of course, we will have to tell him. And to be honest, guys, I'm not heavy into the music scene and, who's doing what. All I know about music usually is what I like. If I like to hear whatever it is, then I'm like, okay, I'm going to twerk to it. I'm going to keep it moving, whatever. But since his passing, I was introduced to his music, and of course I'm reading reviews and trying to figure out who this guy is. And he was doing some amazing things. He was doing some amazing things musically and in the community. But the thing to remember is he also said that he's been a struggle. Like, you know, if you've heard no 1,000,001 times, how do you continue to do what it is that you love to do? Like, if you hear, especially in the music industry or art in general, any kind of art, sometimes people don't respect your art. You know what I mean? They don't enjoy your art or whatever the case may be, because art is a very personal thing. But one of the things that he said as well is that, you know, been through the I want to quit phase. He's been through the, you know, the point where nobody respects it, and just not getting where you want to get with your artwork. And, you know, he overcame all of that, but you got to overcome it by continuing to push forward. So fuck the power. Y'all keep pushing. Just keep pushing. That's all. Keep moving. So you guys, you know, the next segment of our show is tea time, when we talk about all of the tea. And talking about Nipsey is a good segue to tea time, because we talk about all of the news around how that relates to us, and how, like, what kind of, not just celebrity news, but what in the news around us affects us, and how does it affect us. And of course, I think a lot of people were hit hard by the murder of Nipsey, that he was doing also in the community. Everywhere I've turned, everyone is saying that this was a huge loss for them personally. You know, yesterday on Yo DMV Raps, I think DDT said that this was like one of the ones right up there with the Tupac, you know. And I mean, I can, after doing my research, I can understand that. I can understand that, because it's not just an artist. We were talking about XXX Tentacion. Back in the day, you know, a little bit, well, not even back in the day, a couple months ago, it wasn't like this. You know what I mean? There was an outpour. People are for him, but it wasn't like this. If you think about any kind of either violent, even people taking their own lives, but violent murders, anything like that, the sentiment wasn't the same. The sentiment was, we lost one, we're sad about it, but at the same time, I don't think people experience the loss on the level that they're experiencing it as it pertains to him. I was watching The Breakfast Club, and Charlemagne even was like, it's devastating.
I think too, though, a lot, you know, and I definitely want to show my respects to his family, Lauren London, everybody, his children, and everything. You know, I definitely want to show my respects to him, and just, you know, obviously was definitely one of the greats, and I've been listening to his music for quite some time, you know. So when I did see that he passed away, I was like, oh my God, you know. He said in a recent interview as well, he said when he was going to do the documentary for the guy who
Dr. Sebi?
For Dr. Sebi, he said, if they kill me, you know why. And so he knew what was happening because of what he was doing. Right. And then for him to be going to speak police on I believe it was Tuesday, and then for this to happen the day before, you know, then for people to say that he was a snitch, you know. So I think that in the premise of why he passed away is another reason why it hit people so hard. I mean, if you, I guess I've been following for quite some time, so I've been following him, you know, even, you know, he's been dating Lauren London they've been dating for about 4 or 5 years now, and you know how I've watched how he's treated her and how he's made her feel, because she's dealt with a lot of things in the publicity as well in her past before him. And so, you know, how they represented each other. I watched the GQ documentary that they just did recently, where they had the questions, and how just the love of who he was as a person poured out. It was genuineness. It wasn't a facade, and he wasn't doing it for the camera. He was doing it for the people. And it was just it really took me back. Like, this really actually did a live about this, because it took me back. It really took me back to figure out, have we as a society have fallen so low? Have we lost our ground? Have we truly lost our way to not recognize grace while goodness is present?
I would say yes. And it happens like more often than not.
Exactly. It happens more often than not. And it's just like Nipsey was great on Saturday, on Friday, just as great as he is today.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm wondering if more people were in tune to the movement. You cannot change the fate of God, but if we are more in tune on what people are doing in the here and the now, can it affect the later? And when I say that is, if we can all as a people, what his movement was with doing the documentary, shout out to Nick Cannon for going ahead and continuing that documentary, shout out to putting yourself out there like that. But if more people were involved, what he's doing, any type of thing that was hidden would have been uncovered, because more people are involved. Now everybody's involved, but he's already gone.
Right. But you know what else is really interesting all the time is when, like you said, having people involved. Now you have to think about when there's a production going on. There are people, we know what the heck you're coming on here to talk about. There are so many people that know the facts. They know that. But my thing is, the instrument that whomever the powers that be are using for the destruction really always take me back. Okay, so he said that if I pass it's because you guys know why, and alluding to the fact that it had something to do with him doing this documentary. And if anybody knows anything about Dr. Sebi and the issues surrounding him and his healing and wanting to shut that down, and the conspiracies, we'll call them conspiracies because we only have the alleged portion. We only have the alleged portion. So, but out there, if you know anything about that, then you know that this would have been a real deal. And for him to say that was not, that was not a mistake. However, my thing would be the instrument that you use to kill him. Also, there's one thing about the people knowing the movement, but the instrument that you used was another Black man to come to do this. How is it that we get to the point where we sell ourselves to do something? Allegedly, if that's what went on, it really doesn't even matter because he was still the instrument of destruction, period. He didn't care, be it because of Dr. Sebi, be it because this man was a positive, influence in the neighborhood, be it because you didn't like him or what he stood for, be it because you were just against him. You know what I mean? Even though you could see the changes that he was making for his own community. And when I say community, I don't mean just there. I mean the changes for as a whole, because some people change right here and some people change right here. Some people can change something physically right here in front of you. Okay, I'm going to build in my community. And some people are all about changing a mindset. And just like Nelson Mandela, he's about changing a mindset, the mindset of a people. And that's what you're creating. But if that is what you saw and still you could go for whatever reason and snuff that person out. You're not snuffing out the person who was poisoning the community down the block. You're not snuffing out, somebody who's taking from the community. You're not snuffing out a rapist. You're not snuffing out, somebody who does negative things to the people around them. You're actually snuffing out someone who you can see right in front of you is doing good.
But see, and here's the thing though. In the eyes of the government, and it's such a shame. And I'm going to tell you something, and I posted about this. It's such a shame how we have we take to social media in such a negative way. Like it's such a shame how immediately we start posting, him and trying to be revived, and we start posting this, and social media wants us to believe all the bullshit that is said. But understand this, people. What is happening is what they had to take out. They had to take out a man who was going to bring notoriety to the fact that AIDS was not yet the cure for AIDS wasn't discovered in 2019, but yet it was discovered years ago, and it was discovered by an African American man. Because here's the thing,
it's not a pill.
And here's the thing,
it's not a big pharmaceutical.
And what they're doing is they're taking away somebody that could potentially be taking away their money.
Absolutely.
And so what they're doing is they're trying to eliminate a problem by creating another problem and causing other riots, because they know that, oh, we've already accepted, we already know that black on black crime exists. So let's bring more notoriety to that and take away from the fact that what this man was about to do and what he was about to expose. So what we do is we take one big thing about the AIDS and all of that, and we try to make it where it's let's take the focus off of that and let's put it back on black crime, and let's get these people mad, and let's get these people in an uproar, and let's do this and let's do that. And guess who fell right into the trap of the bullshit? We did. We fell right into the trap of bullshit because we took away from the fact of what Nipsey was about to do. Let's not let's not think that Eric Holder had everything to do with killing this man. Let's not think that the picture that they got that was so clear, that was so fucking clear, like as though somebody just literally took that fucking picture. He was getting in that car. What police officer can do that? I don't know.
Wait, what are you talking about?
So there was a picture posted online as he was getting arrested. And when I tell you it was a fucking candid, it was like you were posing for a fucking, he was posing.
Okay. Because you don't believe that the person...
I believe he killed him.
Mm-hmm.
But what I believe in my heart is the fact that I still think the government had something to do with it. I still think what the government
that's what I said about
is,
why are we letting them... Why are we letting them make us be the object of the destruction?
And that's what I'm saying. Like, my thing is, I still like, we're so mad. The government, social media is now trying to turn our hate into this man. Yes, fuck you, Eric Holder, because you carried out the mission.
Absolutely.
But you didn't create the plan.
No.
So let's get the people who created the plan. And let's diagnose and identify the plan. The plan was this. This man was about to do what? He was about to go to the FPD and stop all the violence, stop all the drugs, stop all the accesses to money to where the government and these people getting rich. We can't have that nigga doing that. So let's get another nigga to kill him, to get him dead. Let's get another nigga to go ahead and kill him so that now we can start back up the noise and start back up the drama and start back up the issues. So now we can continue to create this black on black hate. Understand, people. He was the executor, but he wasn't the decision maker.
Now, my thing is,
all I'm gonna say.
And that's cool. My thing is, I'm right along with you. I think we should always focus on the issues, but we have several issues. And, you know, if you take a movie and you backtrack the movie, okay, you like, okay, well, where do we start? Like you said, we start with, you know, the government allegedly. We start with drugs allegedly, you know, whatever it is that, because we don't know necessarily what it was that he was going to specifically expose right then and there. The whole thing with Dr. Sebi,
we knew what that was.
And it's not a secret.
And that wasn't a secret.
It's not a secret. But the whole Dr. Sebi thing is also not a secret. It's actually information out there that if you do some research, half as long as you're on Instagram or social media, you can probably find this shit yourself.
Yeah.
So it is good that we have somebody who is a public figure bringing some more light to some shit.
Exactly.
But people, please know this. Let's be clear. The information is out there. The information is out there. The information has been there. There ain't shit you can do with the information. And guess what else? This government also probably feels that you're too stupid to even go and look for it, because we don't. And the other thing is that they keep us distracted enough. It's not even that we're stupid, really. They keep us distracted.
We're distracted.
They keep us distracted long enough by the bullshit, by working, and by, you know, constantly being on a treadmill to make your ends meet, and this, and this. And then after you finish, you know, working your 9 to 5 and raising your kids and doing this, that, and the other, then you are vegging out on TV and social media. Exactly. So that way, you know, you don't have time. Who has time to go do the research? Do the research. Go find the information for yourself. But again, this is all allegedly, but we also, I'm not even mad about the black on black thing. I'm not even going to put that like you said, that's not where I'm going to place my anger. Not with that particular issue. My issue is not that this man was black. Yes, we need to stop with the black on black crime. If it's one reason you give a nigga a pass, give him a pass because he's a nigga. Okay? If there's one reason. But my thing is, we have got to, as a people, because if it was a little Chinese boy that did it, I would still be saying this. We have got to, as a people, stop being the instrument of of destruction. Like, why make it so that they have to build a fucking robot to come and get your ass? Make it so that don't be accessible. Don't be the one. Don't be the one who is willing to do whatever, poor, bad deed, whatever. Don't be the one that somebody can get to get you to go do some dumb shit.
Don't be the sheep.
Don't be that you lead that you're trying to lead other people to the slaughter. Don't be that person. Because at the end of the day, we all have to atone personally. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to atone for your own stuff. Like, even, at the end of the day, we've had some subjects, and even with beyond Nipsey and all of that other stuff.
And I wanna really shout something else out too as well. Like, for the simple fact that for the simple fact that we just had Cliff, who just passed away. He just died. Cliff, who I don't know if you were familiar with that death that just happened a week prior to that. He's actually from this area. He was living in Atlanta. He just got gunned down, for gun violence. And then a week later, you have this. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
we gotta stop. My
thing was it an opportune moment? Like, everything just seemed so strategically placed and played. Was it an opportunity? They knew that they were going to have to take him out. They just didn't know when, and they didn't know how. But and this is the way I'm thinking, when this one guy, Cliff, passed away, who's, I definitely want to rest in peace, Cliff. He was from this area, but well-known rapper as well of the US of A. But then he dies of gun violence, and it's okay, we got to get him now. Like, we have to pay attention. We got to pay attention. We cannot be so distracted by the shit that don't matter that we're not paying attention to the shit that do.
And then what happens once we pay attention?
Then let me say this.
In this situation,
they are our value. We don't understand our value that we hold in the US of A. We don't understand our position that we are placed in. We are a people that are strong, and together, if we stood united, we would be undefeated.
That's kind of what I fear.
And it's like, it blows my motherfucking mind, and I'm gonna say it like that because it pisses me off. It blows my motherfucking mind that we cannot see that as a people, that they're coming in and they are conquering and they are devouring us and they are spreading us apart and they are putting us up against each other. And we as a fucking people can't see that shit, and we fall right into the trap.
Absolutely.
We fall right into the trap of the bullshit, and we got to stop that shit. Because, and I'm saying this like it's so emotional. It's because I have a friend, a very close friend of mine. Her family, and this just recently happened in the news in Virginia. Her family just recently got shot up. Her family got recently shot up, and elderly people, they just came and shot up the house. Black people came and shot up another black person's house. They knew who was living there. They knew it was elderly people there. They didn't give a fuck.
Right.
They was fighting for something that they didn't even fucking own. They were fighting for land that they didn't even fucking own. The white man owns that.
Who is the instrument?
So who?
Don't be the freaking instrument
to carry out these murders, people. They are using us. They are using you. And if you fall susceptible to the bullshit, they are using you. Soon as Shade Room posts a picture, who are better, you find yourself going against your sister. When both of them are your sisters.
And you know what? I think
you gotta stop with the bullshit.
And we gotta stop.
We gotta stop with the bullshit.
Let me just say this though. They is not only the government. And you guys, like, we really have got to get this through our heads. That the they that we talk about is not always the government. They have to be identified, but they is not always the government. They could be that person giving you some orders right down the street. They is your friend who told you to go kick somebody's ass. They is whoever decided to go shoot up that house.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Saying whoever started this shit. Again, back to my quote. If you want peace in your experience, and we all want peace in our experience, you have to be the peace. We have got to get to a point where we're not going to be the instrument of somebody else's demise. Exactly. And it comes from the lowest level. Stop sneak dissing. Stop clout chasing. Stop throwing people under the damn bus, because guess what? All this bus is not getting you anywhere anyway. The only thing it's doing is causing more of a divide between us, and that is the ultimate goal.
And that's what I was about to say. That's what they want.
Absolutely.
That's their goal in mind. Their goal in mind is to put us back into this slavery mindset. So, like, how do we get rid of these people? Like I said, as people, we don't understand the power that we have. We are strong as people. You look into the entertainment. How many people play basketball? Let's look at how many African Americans play versus other races. Football, all these sports you're watching, all these people into the.
I mean, just imagine a world without
imagine it. We as people are stronger than what we are, but they are fucking our minds over to think that we are these weak-minded individuals when we're not. And how are they doing it? Because they know the biggest motivator for us is fear and hatred.
Mm-hmm.
Fear and hatred. That's the biggest motivator for us. The fear of the unknown, and we're gonna hate somebody before they hate us.
And you're gonna do something before
self-sabotage.
So that's one of those things, guys. This is going to be a conversation that continues to go on. Again, you can only be the change. You know what I'm saying? You can talk, you can teach, you can educate, elevate, and communicate, collaborate, and that's the only thing that we can do to change the narrative right now. That's what you do to change the narrative. Right now we also have besides this going on, we have some other distractions with Cardi B and her Me Too move. Well, people going around with the surviving Cardi B situation. Now, again, we are allowing, there's just so much going on. But the funny thing is that our mindset tells us that certain things are okay and certain things are not. The same way somebody's mindset told them that was okay. Somebody's mindset said it was perfectly okay and justifiable that they went and shot up that house. Yeah. Please know that. Yeah. Please know, if you asked them that night when they were doing their rally, we about to go do this, we about to go do that, they were perfectly justified. You got to get your mind right. Perfectly justifiable. Cardi B's thing, when she did her live and people started bringing up, old stuff in the past, where she was crying and she was saying that, to get to where she was, her time cost $50,000 and she paid for it herself. And then she started talking about the things that she did to get this money and how she had to play this nigga and drug this guy and bring people. So, people are now saying, but that's the same thing she went to jail for, Now people are saying, when does the bullshit stop? And when do you stop justifying your own shit? Please. Okay? Again, be the shit. Be the peace in your own experience. Stop justifying the bullshit. I promise you, this works on the little level and it works on the large level. Stop justifying the bullshit. Seriously, we have got to stop justifying the bullshit. We're so quick to come up with all these movements. We're so quick to come up with all these hashtags. When can we be so quick with the implementation? Okay. Hashtag this, hashtag that, movement this, don't do that. But when are we going to actually consistently come up with the implementation of this shit? So the implementation plan. When is get people one step. Get people one step for the implementation plan. How they do that?
Start the love.
Okay, so we start the love. How they do that?
Give a hug.
Okay, give a hug. You see what I'm saying? When you actually start to ask people to do something and be a part of the movement, and guys, you know, this is just because professionally, it's something that I have to do. When you give somebody an instruction or you give somebody a movement, a plan of action, it actually has to include a actual action. So if we want to stop the hashtags and we want to stop, we don't want to stop the hashtags. Please keep the hashtags going. But sometimes you got to tell people exactly what to do.
Don't do the hashtag because it's the popular thing to do. Don't do hashtag this or hashtag Colin Kaepernick, and you know damn well you watching the Super Bowl because guess what? Hashtag. I'm all for what he's going for, but I did watch the motherfucking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Guess what? I'm all for what Monique is talking about, but I still watch that.
So where's the implementation?
So you know what I'm saying? So I'm not going. My thing is, I'm not going hashtag because it's a popular do, and I know I'm not about to doing that. But guess what? What I will do is I'll hashtag stop the hate because I'm gonna give a fucking hug.
Okay.
I'm a hug. I'm gonna stop killing each other because at the end of the day, what
you
the fuck?
Killer?
I ain't no killer.
Okay.
But what at the end of the day is, I'm walking with the guns down. Stop hating your brothers. Stop hating your sisters. Go get an education. Go make something of your life. Go something better. Stop being what they want you to be. Stop falling to what society wants you to be. Don't be who you think you are. Be who you know you are. Be who you're born to be. Ain't nobody born to be no
And
killer.
actually, some people out there, you got to change that narrative too. Don't even say be who you were born to be. Be who you want to be. Be who your ancestors
need you to be. Be who you need to be.
Be who your
because we don't need no killers.
You know, because
I'm sorry.
Some of us, unfortunately, were bred in an environment that does not tell you what you were saying before. That does not show you your worth. That does not tell you that you have at the touch of your hands and at the end of your tongue freaking greatness. You know what I'm saying? Doesn't tell you that you have power to speak things into existence. You were not born that, you were not raised that way, so you don't know that you will. My favorite quote has always been, greatness is a birthright. You are great because you were born
to be great.
You when you arrived here, it was your birthright. If they could have handed you a passage as a baby, it is that you are born to be great. Your greatness is your birthright. It is within each and every one of us, and all it is for us to claim it. Now, some of us have a tougher fucking road ahead, and let's be real and let's be clear. Some of us are born into some fucked up situations. Okay. Some fucked up things that you actually have to overcome. Some of us create fucked up situations for us to overcome. No, I like to cover the honey. Because I'm born into it. Some of us fucking created for ourselves, and
but guess what? We all got the opportunity
to change and move forward, to grow.
Everybody, nobody's exempt. That's the thing about life. That's the thing about a choice. That's the thing about free will. No matter if you born to the gutter of the gutter of the gutter, you can rise. You decide in this life you want to be something, you're going to be something. That's why we got greatness that's out here being something, speaking about something, because they knew what that life looked like the other side. And they say, I don't want this.
That's not what I want. Exactly.
Shout out to Nipsey, because that's what he stood for. I knew what those streets was giving. He said, I don't want them streets to be giving the same thing to my kids. Right. So I want to do different.
And you know what? It's not just fixing it for yourself. The best people, the greatest people in our world are the people that have decided they didn't want something for themselves and for their kids, but they don't want that for their kids' world. You know what I'm saying? When you're making a step, and you know, it's one thing to change how your household is run. But it's another thing to be able to go back and give back to your community in a way that you've now affected a whole different lifestyle. It's another thing to teach another family something that perpetuates something outside. Because guess what? For each and every one of us, I don't care how good your home life is, your kids have to step outside that door one day. And your kids are stepping into a world of people that don't have the same thoughts and ideals that you do. And we have got to make sure that we are actually, you know, just the way social media leaks negativity and oozes, you know, bad energy on some people, you know, in some ways. I mean, let's be clear. If you use social media in a way, that's exactly what you're going to get out of it. But the same way that happens, we can do good things as well. Hence having SipsTea the show, because our whole thing is we need to start collaboration. We need to have the important conversation. And not to lie, we need to call Kiki too. You know what I'm saying? We need a release, and we need some relief from the distractions that they have, that the world has set forth for us. But we also, in this relief and in this positive distraction, we need to actually do something that's going to change the narrative. And that's what it's all about, changing the narrative.
I got it.
You got a quote?
Yeah, I do. I was looking for this quote from another Nelson Mandela quote. But while he was going, I was like, okay, there was another quote that I wanted to read.
Okay.
Because you born into.
Mm-hmm.
It says, no one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin.
Absolutely.
Or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate. If they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love. For love comes more naturally to a human heart than its opposite.
Absolutely.
So when you said that, I saw that quote and I was like, that has to be read.
Absolutely.
Nobody is taught to hate nobody.
No, they're taught to hate people. That's not how you're born.
That's not how you're born.
But you are taught that.
Because when you come out of the womb, you're born to love.
You're born a big
clicking.
Yeah, exactly.
I love my mom. I love my dad.
That hatred. I love whoever about to give me this bottle.
Exactly.
I'll take it to you too. I mean,
but no, guys.
Whoever got the milk.
With that being said,
thank you guys for tuning in to this show. Yes. Thank you for being here with us. Sometimes on this show, we like to kaka kiki for sure. But every time we kaka kiki and we laugh and all that stuff, real. We also keep it real and we give you guys information. Of course, some shows are more deep and heavy. The shows, this was definitely more of our heavy show because it's a heavy topic. And of course, with the world talking about Nipsey's passing and the way that they were, we have to talk about it in the way that we are and the way that affects our future here and now, as well as in the future, and develop plans of action. Like what we gonna do?
What we gonna do? Because I don't think this shit about to stop.
Hashtag that. What we gonna do?
We gonna do?
And what's the plan? What's the
no. He was saying, not what we gonna do. What are you doing?
Or what are you doing?
What are you doing?
I think it might sound like what are you
hashtag
doing?
What are you? No, because that's real. Like that's real. Like take the catchiness out of it. It's hashtag what are you doing? Like what are you doing to affect change for tomorrow or for the next day or for the now?
Like for the now. Like Black Love Day. We have a Black Love Day. I think it's either the 13th or the 11th.
Yeah.
Black Love Day every year comes around. I'm not saying that that's what you have to do anything, but the basic principle behind Black Love Day is to do acts of kindness as well for not just people in your community. One is about education, and it's not just education of the Black people, it's educating us as a Black community, but it's also about educating other people of other races about our community. You know what I'm saying? Because when we actually are okay with talking about it and and it not being the word that we don't want to say in the room, it becomes, we can actually get some things accomplished. But it's about that, and it's about doing an act of kindness. And I implore everybody to think about just one freaking act of kindness that you can do. Like give a freaking hug, or just one thing that you do for somebody else that don't have anything to do with your own personal
selfless act.
A selfless act, just an act of love. Give somebody a freaking high five. Tell somebody they looking good today. You know what I'm saying? Any of those things. But you know what, guys? So of course, who gets the Shits Award? The Shits Award. This is when we talk about, usually we would give you guys like 2 people or something like that. And we
this
would
whole
say
situation
something that we're not with the shits. Okay. But there's so much right now going on and we're just not with the shits. You know what I'm saying? Be it
and
the
respect
murder,
people's privacy too. Like all that shit, like social media is just. I mean, I don't know, young. I swear, this week made me mad. Stop posting people getting resuscitated. Like, that's all I'm saying. Yeah. Like, stop doing ignorant
I think social
shit.
media really has us wanting to see everything.
Like seriously,
you watch stuff that you don't even want to see on social media. Guilty as fuck. I am so guilty, but I'm guilty of watching things that I would not normally even watch in life. Like I
don't want to see that.
But when that video come on, you like, oh my God. And then you want to run it back. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? Even if you're shocked, even if the shock value is, oh my God, this happened, you're still looking. And again, We choose. We as the consumers of all of these things around us, we choose what's okay. Just like any parent in a household, you choose what's okay. You are the signal to your kids as to what's okay. We tell social media what's okay. Certain things, if we were not about that life and we were really truly outraged and expressed that outrage, we would choose. If you just turned away, the same thing with Colin Kaepernick. You came up a lot, but if we chose to act differently when it came to that, if we chose, literally took a stand, did not go to those games, but a different outcome. We choose because of the same reason that you said. We have a lot of buying power. We have a lot of decision-making power, but we do not exercise not one iota.
And speaking of sports, this is also for my guys. You know, I know all those who are happy that they finally fired, so we might have a fighting chance. Because I mean, he's been with the Wizards, but managing the Wizards and the Capitals for about over 20 years. So they've been trying to fire his ass for the longest time. So they finally fired him.
I wonder what you from being able to fire somebody, like seriously.
Because the owner of the team is like one of the loyal type people, so they finally fired him. But not to get away from the topic, but you just brought up the sport. But no, guys, definitely, you know, he the shits award. So now we're gonna get back to the part of the show we talked about.
So that's the shits award, and now we have got to talk about affinity. That's our poor little tank. We're going to talk about love and relationships. This is affinity. If you guys are just tuning in, please join us on YouTube. If you just click the link in the bio, you should be taken to our YouTube page, and you can click on our live broadcast. That way we can actually have this conversation with you as well, because we can't really see your comments on Instagram and Facebook and things like that. We actually can see and read and respond to you on YouTube. But thank you for watching SipsTea, the show, and we are about to go into affinity. So about these ships, she said, "Hope you feel better." Thank you, girl.
Thank you.
Yes, because I know she needs to get some rest. She needs to get some she needs some holds, defense, some cough drops, and some more stuff. But so affinity. I found it very interesting that, be it a conspiracy or not, the person who shot Nipsey, who turned himself in, had a getaway, quote unquote, getaway driver. Yeah. The driver was a female who also turned herself in, saying she had no clue what was going on. She didn't know that he did this, that, and the other. So now this affinity question goes into your circle. Now we're talking about the ships, not just your relationship, you know, your man, because ladies, we do. If we do need to choose a little wiser, because this is what I'll say about this young lady.
I ain't riding with no murderer.
You ain't riding with a murderer, but did you know your partner, like knowing your partner and knowing your circle, because this could be your boyfriend, girlfriend, sister, cousin, whatever, your circle in general, your partner in crime at that moment, knowing this person. Are they capable of X, Y, and Z? Because you may not have known that they were going to go and do that. But I had this sneaking suspicion that you knew they were going to go, not necessarily in this situation, but you knew that they were capable. Is this guy somebody who travels with his gun? Do you know that this is somebody who would use a gun at a moment's notice? Like, what do you know about the people whose company you are keeping? And if you don't know, do you continue to, like, ride with it? You know, even on the dating scene, I know a lot of young ladies, you know, jump in the car, you go out with this guy, you with him for a little while, and then you start finding out these little things about them. You know what I'm saying? And you want to know how far these little things go, like who this person is. And this goes to your circle. So the question is, who's in your circle, and how far do you ride, and how do they get in your circle, and how long does somebody have to be in your circle before you actually consider them like a member of your circle? Like, I'm gonna ride you, I'm gonna do this with you, I'm gonna do that with you. Because if she didn't know, then, you know, she just got caught up. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so you just got caught up. It happens to us all the time. But when we are building these relationships with people, who are you building relationships with?
Well, for me, I got a very, 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 very tight circle. And those people who are, you know, I have those people who I associate myself with, and I have those people who I call family. And the people who are in my circle, those are my sisters or my brothers. So that's my family, you know, not the family I was born to, but the family that I had the opportunity to create. And I protect that circle.
Mm-hmm.
The reason I protect that circle so closely is because I protect those people who are in those circles. But the moment you do something that is untrustworthy, you out the circle.
Are we talking about bad things, good things, or just something in general that
if you do some questionable ass shit,
mm-hmm.
or if you know you in the circle and we all friends and you start dipping and dabbing and outside of the circle to impress somebody else in another circle, you just got to get out the circle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't ride for the bullshit. That's me. I don't ride for nobody's bullshit. And I noticed a lot of people know shit, but put it back here.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know shit and I keep it here so that you won't hit me by surprise. Like, it's not, oh yeah, such and such, I know that she be doing this sometimes, but you know what? She ain't did that shit to me.
You know, I think one of the reasons why I brought this up is because
keep going.
Don't child, keep it together.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that I think about circles in general is first of all, who we ride with, okay? That's an important question, because the things that you think are okay, do you guys share the same ideals? Like, what is cool and what is not cool? Eb Deceleb was saying she keeps stuff to the forefront of her head, and you know, she basically looking because you're not going to surprise her and this, that, and the other. But how long does it take for somebody to get to that point where you actually can be cool and you can relax in the fact that, I mean, because I know to this day, it's some people that I don't want to go club with. Okay. Why don't I want to go club with them? Because I checked out your movement. And within the circle or outside the circle, we have to remember that people are who they are. And if you watch long enough, you'll see who that person is. Is that person gossiping? Does that person tell you other people's information? Because if that person's telling you other people's information, 9 times out of 10, that person's going to tell other people your information. These facts, we are human. This is what humans do. So when you're talking about like your close circle, is that person the type of person that carries a gun? Has he used it before?
You gotta understand too. You gotta put people in their purposeful places.
You do have to put, and that's the thing. Like, who are you? And that's like, who are you riding with? Like, if you're riding with this person, just like I said, there's certain people I can't go club with. Yeah. I'm just not gonna go. Why? Because I've observed how you drink. I've observed whether or not you can handle yourself. I observed when you're an angry drunk. I've observed the fact that I don't want to do it because that's not my scene. I don't want to be that. You know what I'm saying? If you are, you know what I'm saying, to each his own, you know, there were certain people who, like, maybe they are known to me to go to clubs and, you know, I'm going to see your ass by the end of the night. Exactly. Somebody on Casper on YouTube says when somebody shows you who they are, you better believe it. Yeah. You better believe it. You but you have got, the thing is, you gotta watch.
But the thing about it is people, we are so afraid of, we are afraid of just being in our own space and in our own circle and alone, that we tend to cling to people even when we know they're not good for us. Mm-hmm. We cling to allow people into our space or into our circle because we don't want to be alone, or we don't want to be considered a loner. So let me just even, oh yeah, I know this is kind of how you act, but it's okay because I need to have somebody to hang out with.
And you don't.
Fuck that.
Because guess what? In your attempt to just not be alone, you done offered. For instance, if this young lady didn't want to be alone, now you are a getaway car driver. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
since I want to play this just for them real quick, because I actually posted this too recently. I don't know if you were able to look at this on my page.
So when it gets real,
can you guys hear that?
When you get down in life, you're gonna see who's down for you straight up. I just gotta be real. Everybody in your circle might not be in your corner.
Me too. Trent Shelton. This is Trent Shelton. He's the bomb.com.
Pretend well. Sometimes it's the ones riding with you that really ain't riding for you. Sometimes it's the ones closest to you that's silently competing with you. Just because they're your best friend doesn't mean they always want the best for you. Listen to me. Don't confuse the length of the friendship with the strength of the friendship. Don't let the history keep you in the misery. Just because they grew up with you doesn't mean they want to see you grow. I mean, what's the point of people around you that ain't for you? I can put it.
So, I mean, I think that just sums it up.
That kind of sums it up.
That sums
but
it up.
Yeah,
right
it's just really important to kind of pay attention. Just pay attention, guys. Pay attention and trust what you see. And actually, and it's not that because I know a lot of people. But before we get to that place, because there are a lot of quotes out there that help us say, yeah, you know, keep your circle small. You know, if somebody shows you who they are, you better believe them. But we got to get to the point where we're actually telling people to stop, look, and fucking listen. You got to stop and look. Like sometimes we're so quick to just go and do. People are not actually looking at what, like, did you even stop to figure out who this person is? Like, did you give it some time? You know what I'm saying? Are you looking at this person and trying to see who that person actually is, not who they tell you they are? Okay, because we can have 1,001 conversations, and I can tell you who I am, and 9 times out of 10, I'm not even lying.
But here's the thing:
I'm telling you who I think I am.
See, when you're not able, see, and let me tell you about my circle. And you know, GemDTwin, not only is she my business partner, but she's in my circle. You can't be your authentic self with everybody. You understand what I'm saying? You cannot be your authentic self with everybody. So for those people who are in my circle, there's very, very few people. Those are the people who I'm able to be my authentic self with. Because see, I'm the type of person that, you know, I've been that social butterfly. Well, I thought everybody was my friend, but when life kicks you in the ass and wakes you to fuck up and says, hey, this person isn't your friend, that person not gonna have your back. When you go through a rough time, sis, you're gonna be on your own. That's when you wake up and you realize, let me check what's in my circle. Let me put them blinders on. A lot of people don't want to put those blinders on because they don't want to be alone. They don't want to sit here and they want to be popular. They want to be known. They want to be seen.
And people are allowed to do whatever the hell they want to do. And people are allowed to change. So if that's who you turn, if you
want to be the type of people,
if you want to be that, then you got.
I'm the type of person you could be that person. But guess who Eb Deceleb gonna be? Eb Deceleb gonna be this person,
and that's all over here.
Eb Deceleb gonna be in her own little circle, protecting her own little self, protecting her own little world, loving her own friends.
Okay.
And in the world over here with social media and people gunning up people and shooting up everybody. But guess what? Let's know this: the nigga who shot him, they posted pictures together. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why you got and so it don't even go.
And is it that friend that you can only like do one thing and then
know people's purpose, understand people's fate, and know that that's not your destiny. And that's for me. That's how I am. I've had friends that I've had to discontinue those friendships with. I've had people that I gotta, you know what, this friendship right here, that we're going in 2 different directions. You're gonna go in this direction, and I'm gonna go in that direction because guess what? We're not on the same page because I know that you will stab me in the back. And guess what? You gotta say that shit, and you gotta know that shit, and you can't be afraid to hurt somebody else because if you don't stand up for yourself, they're gonna definitely be to watch you fall down. Absolutely. And I've had those friends who have only been my friend because of what they can get from me or what they can use from me.
And stop offering so damn much.
Thank you. Oh God, you just. That's what I was. Stop giving people more than what they deserve.
So because guess what? A taker is going to love a giver to death. And it will literally be to death because they will suck you dry. Casper said everybody don't need friend status. No. Exactly. Everybody does not get friend status. No. Why? Because of just what you just said. You know, everybody, because your friend, I always say my friends are the ones that can deplete my energy because I will give you my energy. My friends are who I stay up at night talking to, crying about, blah, 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 blah. Most people, I tell you, I will not have conversation for you.
I don't say friend. Y'all say the word friend. I say fam. You know I say that.
Absolutely.
I've been calling you my sister before people say sis, because that's another word. Everybody throw that word sis out there like that. Everybody say, oh, sis. I don't throw that word out there like that.
I be saying sis.
This is family.
But you ain't my sister.
This is family. See, that's what you gotta understand. I'll ride for her. I'll fight her because guess what? With family, I can tell you the good with the bad.
Right.
With associates, you can just tell them the good.
Yeah.
Because they don't give a fuck about the bad.
Absolutely, because they're not about to be there.
They don't give a fuck about the bad. They don't give a fuck.
If anything, they just want that to fuel how they feel about themselves or something like that. It's just one of those things that we have got to be protective of our energy. Just like I said in the beginning with that quote, you need to be the peace. You know, in your experience, if you want peace in your experience, you need to be the peace in your experience. That also goes into picking your circle.
Yeah.
Picking and choosing wisely.
And picking.
And guess what? Your movements, watching your movements. Mm-hmm. Everybody takes time nowadays, got enough quotes to tell us. We take the time to watch how other people move. And we just sat here and talked about how other people move. But how do you move? Mm-hmm. How do you move goes back into how you were just saying people have used you and this, and this. But what were you doing? Mm-hmm. You were giving to people who did not deserve it. So that is your love yourself first. Exactly.
People will watch
love yourself first, but people will
watch you go down.
They will watch you go down. No, they will actually assist you to the floor, honey.
That's what I was about to say.
They be like,
and they will perpetrate. They will perpetrate as golden when they not even worthy to wipe your motherfucking ass.
Yes. You falling? Throw me your wallet.
Exactly.
You don't want that. Just throw me the wallet.
What? You about to go? You about to lose your house? Let me get your furniture.
Yeah, I can keep your furniture in my house. You if you just help me get the fire out? Wait
so y'all, at the end of the day, definitely, that was definitely a good relationship topic because relationship doesn't just have to mean between your partner, the one who's the ship. The ship's all in whole, and so that's why it's so important to just throw that out there. Watch who's in your circle because the nigga, let me tell you something. The motherfucker who you can think you eating with is the same motherfucker that will burn you when you not fucking looking.
Absolutely.
So watch who's in your fucking circle.
Yeah. Now, she said they show up on payday. Okay.
Hello. But they
if
you go to the club and don't got no money.
Never. But guess what, guys?
I guess we won't be
if you stop looking, listen, because we have stopped looking, listen from the kids when we growing up. Stop looking, listen. That's for something else. Like crossing the street or something. But if you stop, look, and listen, you'll get to see that person's movements. You'll get to see whether they show up paid every day. You can ask yourself that question. So you can question their existence and their position in your life. And you can also question how the hell you're moving right now. Because if they show up on payday, are you continuously giving them something on payday? When the cats, look, you feed a stray cat, the cat keeps coming back. That's that cat's nature. That cat just trying to eat. Okay. So whoever's showing up on payday, maybe it's because you continue to give them the money. So we have got to question the people that are coming our way. We got to question what we do when they get there. Okay. Exactly. A good no boo-boo will go a long way. Hello. But that goes well into health and wellness and talking about detox tea. We're going to get you guys out of here. Detox tea, when we talk about health, wellness, mind, body, and spirit. This is one of those things. Our affinity question is one of those things that will actually help you to protect your mental wellness. Mm-hmm. Okay. When we talk about peace and finding peace in your life, that helps to protect your mental wellness. And if you get you right up here, then some of this stuff that's happening to you on your outside in your experiences with life they will vanish on their own. Because if you learn to stop and look, think about all the drama that you've ever had in your life that came at the hands of your own association with someone else. Those dramatically charged events that happened in your life that you'll be shaking your head over and stuff like that. Imagine how many, or just think about how many of those were because of your interaction with somebody else and whether or not that person is still in your life. So was it worth it? So you got to protect yourself. You got to be the example of the peace in your life and figure out what you're doing. Just like Eb Deceleb said about, when we were talking before, what is the action? What is the action? You know what I'm saying? If that person is showing up at your door and you end up crying to your best friend and you're saying, I don't know why they show up like every time. It just seems like every time I get paid, they show up. If that's what you think, then what did you do?
Mm-hmm.
When they showed up, what did you do? Do we have to have this conversation?
I'm
No.
gonna tell y'all go out with me if you want to with no money. I'm gonna say, well, I guess we won't be doing anything today.
We already discussed that because we was talking about buying drinks last week, and you were like, no, Eb Deceleb's not buying them drinks.
And the thing about it is, because you won't try to slide. Now, if you tell me before we go out, then you give me the decision to want to continue to go out. But if you try to put me in a trick bag,
absolutely,
and think I'm gonna just go in and pay for your drinks and my drinks too, honey.
Right. If we did not pre-establish, please know the person's close.
Because everybody, I don't have anybody to get in. I'm sorry, we're gonna have to leave.
Right. Or you're gonna have to leave. I might just still go in.
Okay, well,
it looks a little lit up in there, so I'm gonna have to go.
I'm that motherfucker.
Right. I'm a little networker. This episode, I'll find another friend. I'll find somebody else.
Because you're gonna sit here and tell me you got to tell me shit like that first.
Okay. James said he got you. He'll buy you a drink.
Thank you.
Yeah, she needs to get better first. Second part of detox, which we will say, you know, guys, we were drinking water tonight. We've talked numerous times about how important water is to the body, but I thought it was important for even me to drink some water. Y'all know, I rock strong with my drinks, but flushing. And with Eb Deceleb coming up in here coughing for the past 2 weeks, I'm gonna have to flush. Okay.
Eb Deceleb is going to her doctor on Friday because if this don't go away, I'm like,
yeah, we might have a little infection up in the bronchial tubes or something, the way you've been coughing over this. But we're gonna end this show. James says, can't let anyone steal your peace, joy, or happiness. This is the word. You have the authority to give permission or revoke it. Amen. And thank God, Jesus.
And that's the way to end this.
That is the way to end this show. You have the authority to give permission or revoke it. That is that. And lemon and ginger water. Yes.
I started doing that today because I called to my physician because I was telling them, like, I've been coughing for 2.
Yeah.
But what happened was I had an event because you guys, I do a lot of big events around the city in DC. So I had a rooftop event and it went back
out there.
I was getting better and then that one went down. But today, so I called my primary and they were like, well, do you have any anxious? No, I just got a cough. My throat don't hurt. I don't have a fever. I don't have anything. I just have a really bad cough and my nose keeps running. They were like, well, what happened? Blah, blah, blah. So they told me to drink lemon. I've been drinking lemon and ginger. I got the packets and everything like that. So hopefully that'll work. And tonight I'm about to go home and do I'm about to take a bath with this like green alcohol, 2 Aleve and a root beer.
Okay. I don't know about the root beer because it's what root is that?
I don't know, but that's what they OJ told me. He told me to do that. So I'm gonna try that tonight too. So.
Okay. Well, we'll have to report back and tell you guys how that works.
But I've been doing my lemon and ginger.
Absolutely. Like flush it out. There's
so
many
natural things.
You sound like a man.
I sound deep as shit.
There are things that you guys can do and that we can do. And we thank you. Thank you for tuning in to SipsTea the show. Thank you guys for being here in the room and sharing some of those things with us. Because no doubt, sassafras root, is that what it is? And root beer. But yes, thank you for sharing with us. Thank you for sharing with whoever gets the chance to watch this stream. We hope to see you back right here next Wednesday. And we love you to life.
I like Casper. She be knowing.
I know. She got it right. Okay.
Casper be knowing.
She is on edge. You know what I'm saying? Because we gotta share with each other how to actually alleviate some of this bullshit. Okay. But you guys, thank you again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week.
Thank y'all. And we out.
We out.
In stream.